Hey all you cool readers and SFers, welcome to the Whitney Files. Today's episode is going to focus on the serious side of science fiction, the real true events, the science of people and the way they interact in life. Pain, suffering, crisis, global and economic struggles, poverty, racism, violence. Science fiction can get dark. It can get nasty. It can release the ugly truth, the beast of burden, the cold, hard facts. Today, we will discuss how science fiction provides us with leadership and awareness of the many struggles going on in the past, our present, as well as issues we may see in the future. As a guide, we will reference two books in detail, Black No More by George S. Schuyler and A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. I must argue that science fiction really is a great way to bring forth modern ideas and concepts such as race, drugs, and more. Sometimes it takes us digging into the depths of the words of a book to open our eyes to the bigger picture that is presented right before us. These books we will discuss will focus mainly on race inequality as well as drug and substance abuse. This is real. This is science fiction. The struggles of being poor, black, and underprivileged unfolds in the starting chapters of Black No More, continuing through the chapters, resolving and creating new problems along the way. This book is an eye-opener to the poverty of the world, to the problem of inequality, to the lack of self-love and love for others. And although these problems lead to someone trying to find solutions, it is clear the easier solution is not always the right one. I found in this book that instead of actually addressing the problem, it was easy for them to disguise it. Blacks became white. And though this was supposed to be a great change in their lives, it brought upon multiple struggles going forth. Even though most of the blacks changed their color to white, their offspring were colored. This alone created a bigger issue of disguises being exposed. Chapter 10 of Black No More reads, "The Negroes have disappeared into the body of our citizenry. Large numbers have intermarried with the whites, and the offspring of these marriages are appearing in increasing numbers. Without these hospitals, think how many couples would be estranged, how many homes wrecked." Not only were there interracial couples, but interracial couples that were not aware that one in the relationship had been black before turning white. Interracial babies were frowned upon. This is real. This is science fiction. Many times we try to disguise our problems instead of solving them. It's easier, but it's not long lasting. It doesn't resolve them. It covers them up. Instead of equality, we face real-world issues with racism and unfair treatment. Reference back to the recent events regarding Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. These were reasons to protest, but protests can get out of hand, leaving multiple people dead or injured. A problem turned into a peaceful protest that turned into a problem that never solved the problem. The issues was addressed, but disguised by improper actions. Much like in this book, the blacks, they felt that being white would solve the problem. However, it was a cover-up that led to more problems. The real problem was not addressed. The real problems were overlooked. Just like in modern events, we are struggling to solve the real issues. The issue is racism. The issue is acceptance. The issue is love. The issues have to be resolved. Actions have to be taken. The disguise is distraction. The disguise is awareness. The problem, unsolved. This is real. This is science fiction. Disguises are an important theme in the book A Scanner Darkly. When disguises are used to cover up who they really are, eventually they lose who they really are in the dangerous drug world. One line in this book that really caught my attention was, "They wanted to have a good time, but they were like children playing in the street. They could see one another, of them being killed, run over, maimed, destroyed, but they continued to play anyhow." It is a sad reality. Drugs were the main focus of this book, but if you look deeper into the text, you will see that it's more than just drugs. It is what the drugs do to a person. What is lost? Better yet, who is lost? Unfortunately, those who were meant to stop the problem eventually became the problem. As the chapters unfolded, you see clearly people change when drugs are involved. It is so easy to get wrapped up in a disguise and lose track of what there is to resolve. It is easy to be in disguise and eventually become the person you're pretending to be. Drugs are an everyday problem in the United States. How many lives have been lost due to drug use? Many lives have been taken because of someone else's drug use. The effects that drugs have on people create long-term battles, much like you see in the book, A Scanner Darkly. This book opens your eyes to see that the problems exist and are super important, with extreme reasoning to resolve the issues. It breaks down what drugs do to those who use, as well as those who are around the ones that use. When reading this book, you may believe you were reading something that was made up, totally bizarre circumstances, but the author, who was once a drug user himself, with a wild background, wrote this book in honor of those he knew who passed away because of drugs. In my opinion, this book really does spread awareness, digging deep into what it's like in the day of the life of a drug abuser. He shows the struggles and the health obstacles they face every day. He shows the short-term and long-term effects. He shows a reality of what it's like to lose oneself over time. Philip K. Dick presents us with a problem that needs a solution, a problem that has been around for many years that we will probably still face for many years to come. This is hard to read it sometimes, knowing that for some, this is reality. This is real. This is science fiction. Not only do these books present us with real modern-day problems, it brings this awareness to the areas that are dark, that need light. It reminds us of what's going on in the world. It reminds us of past struggles and how history repeats itself when solutions are not found but disguised and overlooked. These books may seem harsh. They may seem humorous at times, but they are an eye-opener. They are books based off of real-life events, books based off the desperate need for answers and solutions, books that hold so much information that can relate to the past events and present-day events. Books that tug at your heart, books that give a clear picture. These authors did a great job spreading awareness. After reading these books, you should be able to picture what it's like to be in the shoes of these issues surrounding the thought of race and drug abuse. Science fiction is not always space exploration, monsters, aliens. Science fiction is not always technology and Darth Vader. Sometimes science fiction is the past and the present, the trying times, human interaction in times of crisis, the truth. This is real. This is science fiction.